Okay, guys. Well, I am shooting this video from a different location. This is a variation. I live in a tiny apartment in Brooklyn, and I do not have access to. I don't have a laundry machine in my apartment. Obviously, I don't have washer dryer in the apartment. Laundry machine? I don't have a washer dryer in my apartment. I also don't have one in the building because I don't like live in a building with like a laundry room. Um, uh, but my parents have a very tiny washing machine and dryer in their Upper East Side apartment. So I'm up here in my in swank Upper East Side, whatever, filming my videos for you today. So a different location, very exciting. Also, I'm just doing 10 weeks worth of laundry because I guess there are laundromats in my neighborhood I could have gone to, but I was like, I don't know. I'm supposed to stay away from people. I'm supposed to like not, be crowded and like the laundromats are full of people. I don't want to do that. So I came up here. Anyway, welcome back to class 201. We are continuing our way through the Tempest. We're almost done. I'm going to make a video soon about research because there is a research paper that's going to be due. So I'll have that for you guys pretty soon. But for now, we will finish going through this thing. I need to get Tempest papers from you guys first, and of course you can start the research paper. You can draft the research paper. This isn't actually preventing you from starting it or even in fact, without research, you could get a D on it, in which case you would pass. That'd be pretty good though. But I'll tell you about research later. There's some information on research in the syllabus. The assignment for the research paper is in the syllabus. You can get started on that, and you can do the Tempest paper. And if you haven't done the Othello paper, you can do the Othello paper. Those are on the blog. So, okay, all right. So let's go back into the Tempest. So I was talking about power in the Tempest and how Prospero has this sort of high level of control. He has slaves like Ariel and Caliban. And he controls other people. But it's worth noting that the characters who arrive, and then I went to this whole scene with Alonso and Antonio and these guys, and Sebastian, and how they were talking about like creating, Gonzalo, the nice old man, was talking about creating like a perfect community. He says, if I were king of this island, I would do this and that and that and this and that, and there'd be no kings. Like, you remember how you started that? You said you needed to be king to get that done. And also, I connected it to Virgil because we were talking about how in Virgil, the hero is founding an empire and he has to leave love behind to found an empire, and he acts cruelly in his on his way to create a new empire. Similarly, the king was dropping his daughter off in Africa to marry somebody she didn't want to marry because he's expanding his empire, and that's where they were coming back from when he got shipwrecked. And Prospero has this little empire on the island, and so the idea of power. But one of the interesting, when Shakespeare has an idea, it shows up everywhere in the play. So it's also in the story in which Trinculo and Stephano find Caliban. Now, Trinculo and Stephano, idiots. They're drunk morons. They're basically like the court jester and a butler, but they're just drunk idiots. And they find Caliban, and he's kind of like a freakish looking creature. And one of their first thoughts is they're like, oh, we could sell this guy for money. Let's put him in a freak show and make money off of him. So, again, the first thought they have when they see Caliban is how can they use him to make money? Can they kidnap him and take him back in a freak show or something? It's of what use are native people to us educated Europeans? But it's not really like that. Caliban's a more complicated character. So I was just going over this scene where they talk about how they'd make so much money by putting him into a freak show, and they describe him like a freak, legged like a man, his fins like arms, warm on my troth, because they think he might be a dead body at first. They touch him and realize he's warm. Oh, do I now let loose my opinion? Hold it no longer. This is no fish, but an islander that has lately suffered by a thunderbolt. Caliban's hiding, and they think he might be dead. Alas, the storm has come again. My best way is to creep under his gabardine, his like cloak. There is no other shelter hereabout. Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. I will here shroud till the dregs of the storm be past. So this is if you've seen the movie, you really need to see this kind of scene. It doesn't really read well on the page. It's stupid. It's like these are like idiot cartoon characters being fucking morons. So Caliban is hiding, but he's not good at hiding. He just basically like throws a tarp over. He's like throws a piece of cloth over himself, and then Trinculo sees him and thinks maybe he's dead, but the storm's coming, so he hides under the tarp with Caliban because he's trying to get out of the rain. But when the next guy comes along, and the next guy is Stefano, when Stefano comes along, he sees like a big tarp and there's four legs sticking out of the bottom. And so he thinks it's some kind of four-legged monster, and he's not sure what it is. And again, these are drunk idiots. So this is not like a realistic. This is like Bugs Bunny shit. These guys are dum-dums. So Stefano shows up and he's singing songs and he again, each guy thinks he's the only one to survive the shipwreck, right? Stefano thinks he's the only one to survive. Trinculo thinks he's the only one to survive. The King's group thinks they're the only survivors. Ferdinand thinks he's the only survivor because Prospero split them up. And he's singing like drunk love songs about having sex and blah blah blah. And Caliban screams, but Stefano doesn't know what it is. Have we devils here? Do you know? He doesn't know where this voice is coming from. Do you put tricks upon him with savages and men of Ind? I have not escaped drowning to be afeared now of your 4 legs. And again, he thinks Caliban has 4 legs because 2 of the legs are Trinculo hiding under there, and 2 of the legs are Caliban's. So he's messing with them, and Caliban doesn't know what's going on. Because remember, Caliban has never seen any people. Right, Caliban. He's actually the only people Caliban's ever seen are Miranda and Prospero. Right, his mother died, and so he only knows Miranda and Prospero. And so he doesn't know what these creatures. Stefano and Trinculo. We the audience. Here's irony. We the audience know Stefano and Trinculo are fucking dum-dums, but Caliban has never seen people before, and so he thinks they're like very powerful spirits or gods or something. Which again chimes with the fact that like there were stories, I don't know if they're true, that like native people, and when they saw the Europeans with their guns, because native people didn't have guns in America, and they thought these were like magic sticks, or right, they were like powerful godlike weapons. All right, so let's go take a look at this. Stefano says, "This is some monster of the isle with 4 legs. Who hath I got an ague and like a disease of some kind that he's screaming? Where the devil should he learn our language? I'll give him some relief, if it be for that. If I can recover him and keep him tame and get to Naples with him, he's a present for any emperor that ever trod on neat's leather." Again, Trinculo's first thought when he saw Caliban is, I could sell this guy in a freak show. And Stefano's first thought when he sees Caliban is, I could sell this creature to an emperor and make $1 million. These guys are assholes who see other people as something to get the money, which is exactly how Christopher Columbus saw the Native Americans. They could get him gold and he could sell them as slaves and what the fuck ever. So, assholes. Do not torment me. I'll bring my wood home faster. He thinks these are spirits sent by Prospero to get him in trouble. He's in his fit now and does talk after the wisest. He shall taste of my bottle. If he has never drunk wine afore, it will go near to remove his fit. If I can recover him and keep him tame, I will not take too much for him. He shall pay him for that. So the point is they get him drunk. He says, "Open your mouth. Here is that which will give language to you, cat. Open your mouth. This will shake your shaking, I can tell you, and that soundly. Open your chaps again." So he's having Caliban drink alcohol. Again, if you think about Christopher Columbus and the Native Americans, one of the things that happens when the Europeans take over is they give the native populations drinking and drugs, because then they get fucked up, and when they're fucked up and addicted to things, easier to control. And again, Trinculo and Stefano weren't thinking like this. They're just drunk idiots. But we, the audience, who've already noticed some of the connections between Prospero and power and empire building and control of native people and colonialism and teaching people language, and are going to notice this alcohol thing again is a traditional way that powerful people have controlled poor people by getting them drunk and getting them on drugs. Makes them all easier to, because when people are addicted, they will do what you want to get the thing they're addicted to. Okay. And then Trinculo, who's again still hiding, I should know that voice. And he starts talking, and Stefano says, 4 legs and 2 voices? Because he doesn't understand. These guys are like hiding under a tarp. And again, he's real drunk. Oh, most delicate monster. His forward voice is now to speak well of my friend. His backward voice is to utter false speeches. Because there's 2 different people down there, but he's drunk and he thinks it's one kind of fused together monster. You may think of those ancient Greek monsters that were multiple animals fused together. And then Trinculo comes out. Does that other mouth call thee? Mercy, mercy, this is a devil and no monster. And the joke is that he kind of pulls Stefano out from under the tarp. He pulls on the legs. He says, can he vent Trinculos? Vent there means shit, because he pulls because the Trinculo and Caliban are under the tarp. And so when Stefano shows up, he pulls Trinculo out from under the tarp. And he's like, oh shit, is this monster shitting my friends? It's just a stupid joke because they're drunk morons. I'll see you in the next video.